What is up, everybody? Rob here, back with another episode of Punting and Pioneer here on Multi5. And this week, I've got a pretty sweet brew for you all. I am playing Mono White Devotion and Pioneer. I guess that makes sense that it's Pioneer, because it's punting for Pioneer. Yeah. Anyway, so the deck is pretty cool. It's kind of mid-range. Is that a word? Is that a sentence? Part prison deck, part combo deck. Not so much combo-y, but, you know, it has the elements of combo because we can basically ballista people for 1,000. So the basic game plan is to establish a very big board presence with a lot of devotion using mostly enchantments. Those being Stasis Snare for creature removal, Always Watching to make our own team larger, and also to just have a constant source of devotion. Man, my brain it's not working today. It also has the added benefit of giving your walking ballista +1/+1, so you can go to 0 +1/+1 counters, and if you have an Always Watching online, your ballista is not going to die, which can come in handy a lot. Some other cool stuff we've got like a 1 of Blind Obedience, we've got a 1 of Dawn of Hope, we've got 4 Master of the Unseens, which is just a really good mana sink for when you really have a lot of devotion. You can just start manifesting like 3 cards a turn and then just build up a really big board of 2/2s. Knight of the White Orchid is a key player in most white decks in Pioneer. It's going to catch you up on land. It's going to provide 2 pips for devotion. You've got Arcanist Owl, which is a fun one from Throne of Eldraine. It works amazing in this deck because it provides 4 devotion, which is huge. It basically provides 4 mana, and it also finds you your artifacts or enchantments. So things like Walking Ballistas or Always Watchings, any of those. And it also can just find another one of itself to keep digging deeper. I have a 1 of Elspeth just as a really powerful high-end 6-drop in the white deck. It can catch you up from behind. It's just a clean way to clear out the field. Yes, clear out the field if they're playing big stuff, and it also can just win you the game. We've got 4 Thraben Inspectors is just a way to draw some cards. We've got 2 Legions Landings for kind of a redundant Castle Ardenvale, just more ways to build up the board, take advantage of extra mana, build up devotion, create creatures, just a whole slew of other things. We're also running 3 Gideon's Interventions, which is kind of a fun, like, it's kind of like, what's that card? Ixalan's Binding, but you play it before they play their card. And it's also just a way to protect you from, like, really aggressive cards and stuff like that. You could also name a Walking Ballista and keep someone from pinging you to death. Fun. We've got a 1 of Quarantine Field, which is just a way to clean up opposing planeswalkers, problematic enchantments of theirs, a whole bunch of other stuff. And then our sideboard is pretty straightforward white sideboard for Pioneer. We've got the Authority of the Councils for your like aggressive red decks or Gruul or Mono Black. You've got Deafening Silences against things like Phoenix or just other decks that just dump their whole hand out. You've got 2 Banishing Lights for just permanent removal, just you need to get rid of something permanently. That's a permanent. 1 more Intervention for when those come in handy. You've got 2 Leyline of Sanctity for mono red, for just anything else that's trying to kill you by targeting you. Spear of Safeties, which is a very annoying card to play against, but I'm hoping to annoy people by playing it. Another card against decks that win by attacking. I have a 1 of Lyra, just more aggro protection. Another Elspeth against control or something that can kind of deal with my enchantments, and I just need more non-enchantment permanents. We've got an Overwhelming Splendor, which I really want to play. This card is nuts. 8 mana, and yeah, it's insane. It's like an 8 mana you lose. So against like non-interactive creature decks, I think you bring this in. And then we have a Tormod's Crypt for graveyard shenanigans. That's kind of it. The deck I originally saw, I think Sam Black posted on his Discord the basic shell of this. And then there's been a couple 5.0 lists or like a PTQ lists that have kind of been playing it. And I love Devotion. I love Mono White. I needed to play it. The only thing I kind of changed was adding an Elspeth because I love this card. Yeah, let's take it to a 2-man. All right, so we won the die roll, and thinking if we want to keep this. If we draw like a Nykthos, this might be a pretty good hand. especially if we were playing against another creature deck, but we don't have a 1-drop or many 2-drops. I think we keep it. We try. I'm not super experienced with this deck, so I'm just going to try all kinds of weird stuff. See what our opponent ends up doing. All right, so our opponent kept 6 cards, so you've got at least the card advantage. Let's just throw to planes, pass the turn. Hopefully we get an idea of what we're playing against once they play their land here. Swamp. Knight of the Ebon Legion. Okay, so mono black. So here we can play Master of the Unseen and try to save this to catch up on mana, but I don't want to die, so I'm going to play Knight of the White Orchid. Maybe draw out a Fatal Push from our opponent, but if they don't have the removal, we can block the Knight because we have first strike. And even if we don't draw a land, at least we have a follow-up play. Really hoping we draw a land, though. That's pretty good. Probably take the Mastery just to keep us off stuff, but Stasis Snare is also very good. Black, not traditionally a color that can remove enchantments. Okay, always watching. Interesting. I guess that's pretty good against an aggressive deck. Makes our team big. Makes them good blockers. Not going to get greedy here. Going to hold back. I want our opponent to have to use their mana. I'm not going to block here. They can pump. The good thing with the Knight is that if they pump, they can't cast spells, but now they can cast maybe like a Spawn of Mayhem or just a Zealot is fine. Oh, sweet. Awesome. So here we have the option of going Always Watching, making a big blocker, or we can play Stasis Snare. I'm leaning more towards Stasis Snare just because I think this is the better move, because Knight of the Ebon Legion can get out of control, and I don't really want to get aggressive yet with the Knight, because if they kill it, I don't really have any backup plan. So we're going to pass the turn. Our opponent knows we have the Stasis Snares from the Thoughtseize earlier. They actually know our whole hand minus this new Always Watching. So let's see. Okay. We could remove their lands with a Stasis Snare. Okay. So I actually think the play here is to just Stasis Snare their Mutavault. And then I'm going to Stasis Snare something next turn, but just in case they play a Rankle or something, maybe I want to Stasis Snare that instead. Sorin, okay. So this is more of a vampire deck than the traditional mono black aggro deck. So we're going to Stasis Snare the Knight here. Really want to draw Nykthos. That would be the best draw. We've got 5 Devotion. Can make 6 mana next turn. Ballista's okay, but can only Ballista for 1 here. I think we just Always Watching and pass, unfortunately. Really need to draw mana here. Specifically a Nykthos. A Nykthos would be huge. Nykthos would be able to catch us up really, really, really fast. Plains, I'll take it. Quarantine Field the Sorin. We could Ballista for 2. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and permanently controlled by the sources with the chosen name. So we could play this, named Dusk Legion Zealot. Protect ourselves a little longer. Try to hang on to this quarantine fields until we can get like a multiple permanent removal all at once. Dusk Legion Zealot. And pass the turn. So next turn we can start manifesting the top card of our library. Really, really want to draw Nykthos. I mean, we have our 2 best top end cards here. What do they got? Sweet. Draw cards, that's fine. All right. Come on, Nykthos. Come on, Nykthos. Once again, Nykthos could single-handedly catch us up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, well, we can at least get a mana here. Thin our deck by 1 card. I could Ballista for 1, but I don't really want to risk it dying. What does this do? Just 3 damage, yeah. Pass the turn. Doesn't feel good. We can, however, block the Gifted Aetherborn, so there's really just a 4/4 we have to worry about right now. Disregard that. So 1 more mana of any kind, we'll be able to quarantine field 2 things, but again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 devotion. God, a Nykthos would be so good right now. Nope. It's looking like Nykthos are bust, potentially. All right. Ugh. That's not it. So I have 5 mana. I can quarantine field for 1. That's not going to do anything. I can Ballista for 2. Kill nothing. All right, well, feels bad. Begin sideboarding. All right, so I think so against a vampire deck. So they have Sorin, so we need an answer to Sorin. So the Banishing Lights should come in. Overwhelming Splendor would actually be really good if we can get it off. Elspeth makes a lot of blockers, but there's not many creatures it's going to kill. Authority of the Councils will keep us alive a little longer. Legion's Landing's more of an aggressive card. Does provide lifelink, but don't think that's necessarily what we need. Stasis Snare is good. Owl's good. Intervention is good. Spectre provides card draw and early blockers. Always Watching doesn't seem great. Let's just try this. I'm winging it. I'm not familiar with this deck that much, but this is a slow hand, but we have protection from Sorin. And then we can start really doing work with the Owls. Again, I think this is probably too slow, but if our opponent doesn't have a lightning fast start, this might not be too bad. We're semi-Thoughtseize resistant with the 2 Owls. Yeah, our opponent knows that's the card that's really going to catch us up. There's a Nykthos. I don't want them to know that we have it yet. It's not going to do much work until the Owl is down anyway. Okay, well, they know about the Nykthos and the Banishing Light. All right. Cool, good draw. I'm just going to keep playing Plains because if they, for some reason, are running Field of Ruin or something, I don't want to get my Nykthos blown up yet until I can really take advantage of it. Yep. Seems okay. Meh. Can at least minimum start manifesting next turn. It's pretty slow draw. I mean, keeping 4 lands, a 3-drop and 2 4-drops. It's my fault, I know, but Owl would be a good draw here. Thraben Inspector, not good, not bad. Can at least draw again. So now the question is, do we draw or do we just manifest? Probably just manifest. Another Nykthos, not bad. That is a successful manifest. Instead of drawing a dead Nykthos, we at least can block with it. There is always that. We're at 18 life. They're hard casting a champion, drawing 2 cards. Just by having this Nykthos on the battlefield, I do feel a bit more confident in our ability to come back. I'm just going to block. Just doesn't matter. Get out of here. Just want to stay alive at this point. That's a pretty good draw. So, wish there was a way to cast it and then activate a Nykthos, but don't think we're going to be able to. Oh my god. Oh, the whiff. We whiffed. What trash. What trash. Cool. Another night. Yeah, we're just going to pass here. Hopefully they don't kill our owl and we can start making some mana next turn. So you have 6 lands. Our opponent will have 6 lands potentially. The knight's not going to fetch us any more land. We're at 18. They have 4 cards in hand. I'll just jump again. Knight, it's going to get a counter. Thoughtseize, take my little guy here. Okay, so Quarantine Field to be a real good draw here. Blind Obedience. So we're gonna... So this is gonna add 1 mana if I do it first. But whatever, let's do it. So yeah, if you guys remember the extort mechanic from drafting Gate Crash, pretty much the only time it was ever used. Whenever I cast a spell, I can pay that much and my opponent basically gets drained. And it just makes their stuff come in tapped, which at this point, a little slow, but let's manifest the top card of our library. A Plains. Okay. I'm just going to attack Sorin here. I don't want to block with my owl because that's my main mana generating source right now. So what do we need here? The one of Quarantine Fields would be very good. Walking Ballista would make 6. We could kill a couple things. Yeah, it's definitely problematic. Definitely a problematic situation we are in right now. Oh, I totally forgot about that ability. Oh, no, no. Okay. At least I can stay alive. I'm going to block here just because they have the ability of making it the biggest creature on the field. Take 8. Oh, boy. Things aren't looking up. Things are not looking up. Vampires can do some damage. That is for sure. Come on, Ballista. All right. That is too little too late. I can only Ballista for 3 here. I guess I manifest. All right, that didn't work out. Okay, well that was a pretty bad showing of the deck there. Yeah, so while we wait for the next game, we definitely want to draw better stuff. That is for sure. We won the die roll, so I think we need to be a little faster in the early turns. I think that's probably what's going on. So let's scope it out here. Won the die roll. Sweet. Turn 2. Okay. We kind of have a little bit of everything we want here, minus a turn 1 play, but we're only playing 6/1 drop, so that's completely fine. So, blue-white control, maybe? Night of the White Orchid, always the awkward thing to have when you're on the play, but, 2/2 first strike, and getting some damage, not bad. It's going to get countered. That's pretty cool. So, blue-white control. Sacrifice an attacking creature. Cool. So I think our best bet against this deck is like Master of the Unseen and these little tiny incremental advantages we can do. Okay, they have a Syncopate. Good to know. Opponents can't cast spells with a chosen name. Teferi Time Raveler. Because Teferi can bounce stuff. And that is very annoying. I'm going to play Mastery here. Try to draw out that Syncopate. If I did this backwards, I should have played Night of the White Orchid. Or not. Throw this out now. Could have named Syncopate, but... so they can play Big Teferi next turn. That can also tuck stuff. Maybe Teferi Hero is probably the name there. Elspeth is good, but not right now. It's not bad. You don't really want multiple masteries. Other than making Devotion, it doesn't do much for you. What do they just do? Draw a card. This might be a tough matchup. We're going to have to really grind it out with like Master of the Unseen and stuff like that. Supreme Verdict and stuff like that. Oh, God. The value. The value. I feel like we want more Quarantine Fields in this deck. My very, very early draft had like 4. Oh, Jesus. That's not good. All right, well, I don't really care about Narset right now. I'm not going to be drawing cards. Teferi Hero Dominaria is very problematic. That's annoying. I'll just put it back on the top of my library, why don't I? Yeah, so let's... Elspeth is going to be good if we can get it online. The interventions are actually going to be pretty good too. Supreme Verdict's not great against this deck. It's going to be a battle. This is going to be a grind. Dude, I love the lands from this block. They're so sweet. So sweet. I need to get like a playset of these for paper. Usually just been running the like Zendikar full arts, but everybody runs those. Oh my god, literally the most dead card in this matchup. I'm just gonna concede. I'm not even gonna bother. I'm not one of those people that play to the bitter end. I know when I'm beaten. Banishing Light, Intervention, Elspeth. Always watching. Why am I doing this? That's not the card I meant to take out. Stasis Snare. Deafening Silence maybe is better than some stuff. That's not what I want. I guess we just try this. Stasis Snare is a super dead card, so don't want that one. All right, yes, I would like to play first. Potentially an amazing hand, potentially the worst hand. I'm tempted to keep just because the knight can catch us up, and if we draw into a land, this is really good. Oh, I'm gonna lose, and it's all my fault. Okay, this isn't ideal, but let's let's see. Come on, Nykthos. Give me that sweet Nykthos. Actually, I wouldn't be able to cast Knight of the White Orchid if I had a Nykthos. Castle Ardenville. Okay, that's an annoying card. Ooh, baby. Okay. Guess we just play the next Inspector. Attack for 1. Holding off on the knight just in case I really do get stuck on mana and I just need that third land. Attack with all the creatures. Gonna draw first. Because I got my land drop. Okay, so we know we're not drawing a land to next turn. I could bounce my clue. That's annoying. Or my creature. I mean, that's fine, actually. Just, thank you, sir. I would like a lot of clues. Okay. That's not the worst. So I want to play the knight. Don't want it to get countered. Let's start by attacking Teferi. Well, hey, you know what? Last game when I named Teferi, I named a card that was in fact being used. Okay, that's actually really good for us. So now we can Knight of the White Orchid, not get countered. Oh, I was like, what are they playing? Censor or something? I don't even know what Censor does. I don't even know if that counters creatures. Yes, I would like a mana. And then just draw a card here. The Inspectors. The goddamn Inspectors. Teferi? All right, so here is tricky. I think we banish Big Teferi. We could Ballista for 1, 2, kill Big Teferi. Maybe that's what we want to do. X is currently 1. Done. Yeah, if our opponent wants to keep giving us a bunch of card draw, I'm okay with it. It's one of the few ways we can grind them out. Dawn of Hope was one of them, but not anymore. All right, let's go. Just attack Teferi. Keep him from bouncing. I kind of want to save my Banishing Light for something bigger. I have 3 Devotion. I'm going to draw again. I was holding out for Plains in case I could activate Nykthos for more mana. Stupid. Well, no sense in not drawing again. There's the Plains. Okay. So, I mean, we're keeping up with our opponent as far as card draw goes. They're creating a little man here, or digging through time. I forgot that card is an instant because it's insane. It is so good. Yeah. Just dig through there. So silly. So silly. Okay, so 5 cards in hand. Probably a bunch of counter spells, I would assume. Let's go Knight of the White Orchid. That seems quick. That seems like they have 6'd. That seemed real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Devotion. I could cast Elspeth here. I could cast Always Watching and Banishing Light. I could Quarantine Field some things. I think I'm gonna try to Elspeth here. I get punished. I am so punished. No. Oh man, I'm so used to Arena trying to like play the speed game. Well, let's hope we can kill the Teferi at least. No, of course not. Oh, boy. All right, well. Okay. Just plain always watching, see what happens. Play always watching. Okay. So next turn, I at least have the ability to make a decent amount of mana. We are getting late game enough here, though, that they're going to be able to get just so much value. So 5, 6. 6 gets rid of 2. And this still has a banishing light up. I'm going to do this. Probably going to counter this. But then I at least have a banishing light. Could probably have done it in the opposite direction. Would have been better. So do I want bigger Little Teferi? Both can just tuck it. But Little Teferi at the moment is a quicker annoyance. Keeps me from... I don't know why I did that. Yeah, there you go. Get rid of the clue. That's the smarter move. Playing always watching. Activate Nykthos for 7. I could play Gideon's Intervention and like name a counterspell or something. But then they could. Yeah, they can't actually bounce it right now. Maybe I'll try that. Just name like Absorb. This is a very weird matchup. I feel like you really need like Master of the Unseen or something. Absorb. And I can't activate that, so cool. Pass the turn. Why it's not letting me pass? Yes, I know. I wasted mana. I'm aware. It doesn't feel good. All right, so I can make a ton of mana. Hopefully, like, Syncopate protected. So hopefully my Elspeth can start doing work if I can resolve it. It's kind of my only hope. Elspeth, you are my only hope. Teferi and Castles. Pretty good combination. Are they running negates, maybe? Commit, put target spell or non-land permanent into its owner's... Jesus. Oh, boy. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Okay. At least it's protected for one turn. Okay. I feel like by this point in the game, blue-white control should be crushing me. They could play an additional Teferi, bounce my shit. Or just play another big Teferi, or just do that. That's cool. So all of my Thraben Inspectors and shit, cool. Let's just let's make 1 billion mana. Once again, have Syncopate protection. I'm gonna take the little one again because I want this to be low on devotion. As I get beat down by 1/1s. Man. Pithing Needle and the Dawn of Hope. Who would have thought that would have been the real killer here? If I can resolve a Master of the Unseen, that would actually be very good. Both of my Elspeths are dead, right? Or no, one was tucked. Okay. God, 8 cards in hand. This is so stupid. No, don't do it. No. Ugh, now I can only make a lot of mana still, but I'm going to get beaten down by 1/1s. Sweet. Awesome. Rad. Cool. All right, well, you know, things are not looking up here, so we're just gonna hit 6 and hope. So I think having more quarantine fields is actually the way to go. Teferi Tribal is definitely problematic. Teferi and Castle Ardenvale is a fun little combo there. Rest in pieces. Well, there was a couple games with this current build of Mono White Devotion. I think what I'm gonna do. Elspeth seems good. I think maybe in the sideboard, get rid of Lyra, maybe add in some Gideons, just some more Planeswalker stuff to fight against the control. I think we're fine against aggro. Like, I think we're actually very good against aggro. Kind of learning the deck against the vampire deck probably didn't help, but I think there's definitely something here. I mean, you can see once we get our enchantments on the battlefield, we can get a lot of damage going. And by damage, I mean mana damage when we play a ballista. Yeah, I think there's definitely something here. So I'm gonna change some things around for the next video. But yeah, stick around.